All right, y'all. We are back. We are back. We are back. So I think this is going well. So I'm gonna keep up with this as long as possible. Excuse me. Jeez. Was that God's way of saying something? Was that God's sign or something? Because that was crazy. I don't know what the heck that was. Um, but I appreciate y'all for joining me. And when I started this last week. And the bad part about me, y'all, I often start something and sometimes I don't finish. But I think this is cool because it gives me if we can stick to 9 o'clock, I think this is a good time for me. I guess 9 o'clock Central Time. Um, man, I just had something hit me just now. Besides what I said, I had a quote today. I said on Twitter. But look, I am now a coach, and today I had a former athlete that's now participating in college sports. This athlete always comes and sees me when they are home. And I didn't realize how important that is to the coach more than I would have ever imagined when I was the athlete. So my first thing right now is before I get the quote is that for all you former because I used to when I was living in Chicago, every time I was used to come home, I used to go golfing with my former high school coach. And sometimes I've golfed with my former basketball coach. And now I realize why they enjoyed it so much. Um, so you guys and girls, if your former coach is still around when you go home, or if you live at home, take the time out to go see him. And I need to do a better job of that with my college coaches. And I'm horrible at it. Is I know it might seem odd, but I am the epitome of an introvert. My former teammates would tell you, like when I was in college, never went out. I'm the epitome of a homebody. Um, so for me to reach out, it takes a lot from me. But I need to do a better job with my former coach. I need to reach out more to Coach Archer and Coach Smith and Coach Curry. I don't do a good job of that. So since I'm saying this out in the universe on social media where I don't know how two, three, four people hear it, hold me to that. Um, but there was a couple things that I saw today that piqued my interest. And I'm gonna go with this one first. I'm a big fan of Aja Wilson. Aja Wilson was on that God, what's the show? The Hot Wing show. And this came up. Tiger Woods said winning solves everything. But Asia came back and said, um, crypto, I didn't play with Brad Armstead. Brad was I think Brad graduated a year before I got there. Here's a wow. Now you just got me onto some crypto. All right. Here's the crazy part. I just talked about this today on Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel. Um, no, it's not your bad, Crypto. I should know Brad Armstead. I really should. Here's the crazy part. I'm gonna go through this story again. Some people might have heard it before. My recruitment story at Kentucky is wild. I didn't get Kentucky didn't start recruiting me until late. They were really the last team on my board. I don't think Kentucky, if I remember correct, I could be wrong. Did I receive mail from Kentucky? I know I did, but nothing prior to. Man, it was crazy. All right, I'm gonna say this because I don't know if that's true. So Kentucky didn't start recruiting me until late, and the only reason I'm at Kentucky is because Mike Archer left Virginia as linebacker coach and became defensive coordinator at Kentucky. If Mike Archer does not leave to go to Kentucky, I'm not sure where I was going. And well, I'm really being honest about it. Because I want to go to Southern Miss, but Southern Miss didn't have mechanical engineering as a degree. Mississippi State was probably number 2, but coach, the head coach at Mississippi State back at that time, Jackie Sherrill, said some things in a meeting in his office that myself and my parents didn't like. So I wasn't going to go to LSU. I guess it could have been Arkansas, I guess. And that would have been bad because that would have been just the last of the Mohegans. But with that said, I never, of all the recruiting trips, I really didn't get a chance to meet the entire football team. And like that outgoing group, like when I went to Mississippi State, I met some of the seniors that were leaving. At Kentucky, I didn't. Everywhere else, USM, I met some of the guys, the seniors that were leaving. At Kentucky, I didn't. So I never met Brad Armstead. Never met him. Couldn't pick him out of the lineup. Couldn't pick up like damn it, who was, and this is bad. This is my bad memory. Who was the defensive end that played for Kentucky, that played at Seattle, that just passed a year or so ago? Like, never met him. It's interesting. Then did you say it? But let me go back to what I was saying. Y'all, this ask any question, y'all. This is why I went to Let's Talk. If y'all have questions, ask away. Crypto, watch you play when I was a teenager. Watch you play against Georgia. Appreciate that, Crypto. I hope that was Georgia at home. Dean Wells, thank you, Aaron. Shit, I could not. I would have came up with it after the broadcast was over. I would have been pissed. Thanks, Aaron. So Tiger Woods said, "Winning solves everything." Asia said, "Winning disguises everything." And I have never, when she said that I was scrolling Twitter and they had the clips, whatever, edited out, and I'm like, damn, that hits home. That hits home hard because when you have these situations of teams, and let's say they go on a little winning streak like we did, right? And there are some underlying tensions, unresolved issues. Not saying this happened to this team because I don't know, but I'm just saying that, like, you wonder why teams, when they start winning, it becomes like easier. But then when one play happens or one game happens, the bottom falls out. It's because winning truly disguises things that if you as a team do not rectify or clear up or fix the issues you had prior to you winning, you have issues again when you stop winning. Because winning disguises all of the issues that you have, maybe with each other, maybe with a scheme, maybe with a coach. The teams that are your best teams are the ones that winning is just a byproduct. Just because you score one more point than the other team doesn't solve the issues you had prior to that win. Like, I'll never forget this. And man, when I was a corner at Kentucky, and to play the cornerback position, you have to have unconscious amount of confidence, irrational confidence. Like, to play that position and to be on that island when things go wrong and it's obviously, oh, number 17, that guy sucks. He gave up that touchdown. You got to have the amount of irrational confidence that you can come back on the next play and perform. Coach Smith used to always say to me, we have our exit interviews. He'd say, Van, I remember this like it was yesterday. Van, you need to work on your man-to-man. Van, you need to work on your man-to-man. Van, you need to work on your man-to-man. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't understand that was for the next level, not for college. Because in college, my man-to-man was fine. I played a man-to-man that was counter to how you would have to play in the league. So that irrational confidence and me winning reps in practice didn't solve the fact that my man-to-man was not as good as I thought it was. Just because I was winning reps in practice or winning reps in games. It didn't solve the fact that when I face elite level wide receivers on a consistent basis, when you get in the league, it's a totally different story. So that's why winning does not solve everything, because it did not solve it. That's not the only reason, but that was one reason why I became a safety in the NFL. When I played corner all through college. Except in emergency role when we needed a safety, when our safety was hurt, and Coach Smith trusted me enough to play safety. But I came in as a corner. So winning does not, it disguises stuff. It really does. Your relationship with your teammate when y'all losing, as a football player, he becomes a motherfucker. But when you're winning, oh, I can deal with him, but outside the building, fuck him. But on those things, if you cannot come to a common ground as teammates or as coaches, there are not too many undefeated teams. Unless you're just going to win week in and week out, week in and week out. It's just a disguise. So when I heard that quote, man, it really truly hit home. And I really want people to really think about that, about the winning part. Just remember, it doesn't solve all your problems. It doesn't solve all your problems. It doesn't. Crypto, I appreciate that. Dude, that's just player football. I will say this with that Crypto saying that is that Crypto said all the respect in the world for you just playing D1. Couldn't imagine how difficult cornerback is to play. I'm gonna say this, yo. is, how can I put this? You are, we are built to play that position. That's God's plan for us. That's the simplest way to put it. Can't describe it. Not everybody can play corner. It is a position that is very difficult from a mental, emotional standpoint because we all as athletes want to win every rep, and you can't win every rep. But the issue is when you're why I get just dark so all of a sudden. What? The issue is when you don't win a rep, it's obvious to everybody else. When a defensive lineman doesn't win a rep, you don't know. When linebackers miss a rep, you really don't know. You can say, well, but when we lose a rep, it's obvious. Thus, momentum still exists in recruiting. Will Stein will have a honeymoon period of getting better than our average talented players can. Winning early get us in position to get elite talent. Stevens, appreciate you, Steven, as always. Man, I'm just gonna go back to y'all. Steven, you have been with me long enough, you know. Here's what Will Stein can do is teach and coach and develop, just like what happened with Coach Stoops. Because I'm just gonna tell you, I could be wrong, but unless our funds get up to an incredible amount, it's hard. I don't think people understand, man. Crypto said I play high school football, played against George Massey. Oh, nasty Massey. Um, how about the third recruit they got from Louisiana, Darby? Aaron, here's the deal. Can you get one or two? Well, I'll say this, and I think it's more to the Darby thing. First of all, Sloan had to recruit him. First, second of all, LD knows Darby. LD recruited Darby. I think those two things help. Having that positive ear for a kid helps. Are you going to get a plethora of Louisiana kids to come to Kentucky? I highly doubt it. And that's me just being honest. As a guy who's from Louisiana, came to Kentucky, to think that we're going to steal five guys from Louisiana, I highly doubt it. Would it be great if we can bring 5 to 10? That would be awesome. So for me, I'm not sure Will Stein is going to be able to, in essence, out recruit Stoops at his heyday. He's going to have to find a way to. I don't think so, Aaron. I mean, Aaron, just think about this, right? We got Kevin Joseph from Baton Rouge. Damn it, who was the offensive lineman, the left tackle that was at LSU? We got him. How many guys have we gotten since? That's going to be on an individual basis. And we got the quarterback from Amit Gilmore a few years ago. Like that's onesie twosies. Um, we had a Louisiana coach here at Kentucky, Rosenthal. Thank you, Crypto. Um, I'm not sure. I would say this: history says that it's not going to be a domino. When we think of dominoes, where you line up dominoes, you knock one down, and you get more. I don't see that happen. I really don't. Uh, I just being a Louisiana kid and coaching Louisiana kid, dude. There are guys here that will walk on at LSU before getting a scholarship to some other places. Oh, maybe Aaron. Aaron, I want you to because I'm always critiqued as having the blue sunglasses on all the time. But I want you to realistically say, Aaron, if your kid was recruited by all the teams in the SEC, and let's say all the money was equal, and your kid legitimately had a chance to go to NFL, where would Kentucky finish in your top 4? So I'm saying Georgia's coming after your kid. I'm saying LSU's coming after your kid. I'm saying Tennessee's coming after your kid. I'm saying Texas coming after your kid. Texas A&M coming after your kid. It's hard to bypass those institutions to come to Kentucky. Now, I understand you guys being Kentuckians, you would probably want to stay. But not being a product of Kentucky, it's hard. And you are fighting that traditional history. Now, what can happen is more of maybe you can get a portal kid that maybe went to an Alabama first and felt like I have 2 years left. Let me go a place that I can play. And Kentucky's going to pay me a decent amount of money and I can start there. Then you probably will go there. But I'm not so sure. And it will have, I hope I'm wrong. I'm not so sure that you are going to get your top players to come to Kentucky still. So it would depend on what position you play and the likelihood of when you'll be able to see. That's now quarterback is one position that you probably could, but there's still so many other options. Yeah, UK gonna be low in that regard. Went up against the big dog, but our recruiting had dropped off. Needed a couple of dudes, and then solid. I don't think our recruiting dropped off, y'all. I really don't. Um, Progress is not linear, and when you're talking about the recruiting game, we hit on a lot of dudes that were not recruited heavily by other schools. I mean, we go back to 2017, 16, 18. Benny Snell and Josh Allen, man. That was pure development. We were fortunate with hitting on those guys that became legends for our program. You can't live off of that. Let's be honest and transparent about hitting on low star players and them becoming iconic players for your program is extremely difficult to do. And for us to do it with so many guys, that was crazy at that point. To get over the hump, if you have to find guys with high level of talent and or high football IQs. And I'm telling you right now, as a high school coach that has seen a lot of games and seen a lot of kids from other teams, football IQ is not a strong suit. It's just not. That worries me too for a couple of years. The coach would be a bigger draw than the school, in my opinion. That's the only time the great exceed out. See, but Steven, here's man. I'm gonna go too far. Crypto Stoops recruited well into NIL, went full in effect. Then it felt like I still don't think that's the issue. I still don't think that's the issue. I want y'all to understand that even in the NIL era, we kept Dion Walker. We kept Barry Brown and Dane Key. We kept a lot of good talent on this team. We couldn't find a quarterback. Y'all, that is really the crux of the matter for since 2021 is identifying a quarterback. That's it. Devin Leary didn't gel well, in my opinion, with Liam Cohen. Devin Leary did not have a bad year though. The expectations were high. He did not have a bad year. Devin Leary, if if we don't lose both our starting corners in that bowl game, we win 8 games that year. That's a damn good season. Devin Leary, then we went to Brock. That was a miss. That was a swing and a miss. And it wasn't a bad swing. The pitcher was just better than us. And that was a bad miss. That was an atrocious miss. That miss was worse than the Calzada miss. Because if you win with Brock, this is why, y'all, timing is everything. If you listen to the locker Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my question is, did Stoops handcuff? No. Crypto, Stoops did not handcuff. Did Stoops handcuff Liam? Did Stoops handcuff Eddie Grant? That's just a bad narrative that fans, it's just like with the whole Mitch Barnhart, JMI, and all that stuff. People want to make themselves feel better because they have an answer to why things are going south. Stoops was not doing that. Now, if you want to say Stoops was interfering with the defense, maybe you can say that, but definitely not with the offense. So here's the thing with Brock, y'all, and I said this when Brock was looked at. If you had Brock for 2 years, which I wholeheartedly think was the plan, if you have Brock for 2 years, that means you're able to bring Cutter along at the right pace. When you have progression and schedule for quarterbacks is when you can be successful. Being in Louisiana, not an LSU fan, but being in Louisiana, you can go back in the history of LSU football. Ryan Perrilloux, who was a dog here in high school, and I wholeheartedly believe he would have been a dog at LSU and would have been an NFL player. Ryan Perrilloux couldn't do things. Ryan Perrilloux was LSU Wilcox. If Ryan Perrilloux kept his head on straight and played at LSU, because he started, I think, his sophomore year. If he stays there, that legacy of quarterbacks and that ascension to winning national championships would have been a lot more smoother. Jordan Jefferson's brother had to play quarterback way before he was ready. And that stunted his growth. If Brock plays 2 years, I will say this, if Brock plays 2 years, that means he's successful. Coach Stoops is still your coach. Because if Brock is successful, they're not 4-8. I guarantee you. I guarantee you they win at least 7 games that year if Brock plays better. On a consistent basis. So now if Brock is the quarterback this year, you don't have to go for Zach Calzada. Now you got a guy in the system for 2 years. Now you got Cutter Boley, who will start his worst their sophomore year and has 3 years potentially starting. So now you have 5 years of quarterbacking playing the same system. And so now it's easier to potentially recruit skill position players. Because you're starting to get a rhythm. So in my opinion, we're going to have to identify a quarterback. And the other thing is, y'all, we have to deepen those pockets. I mean, I've been saying this about IU. I have said again. When I was being drafted, my agent was connected with George Talaferro. whom is first black player drafted in the NFL. I think that's the official thing. George was on the IU Board of Trustees. George was big at Indiana. And George, I used to ride with George. We used to go to Illinois to work on speed with the Illinois track coach at that time. And we used to have conversations. And he said, because when I was a freshman, Trent Green was a quarterback at IU. I know they won 9 games that year. I think they won 9. And we were only playing 11 games at that point. So I think they went 9-2. Penn State beat them. They would have went 10-1. So Indiana had a great season, 93. And he was saying that there's so much money here because of this business program that if they invest in football, it can be great again. Wow, he didn't say those are my words, paraphrasing. So lo and behold, I didn't watch the 6 minutes. I don't watch stuff entirely. I watch clips. But if you watch the 60-minute thing on IU started investing in that program to get Kirk Cinetti there. And you know who is a grad of IU? A very wealthy guy by the name of Mark Cuban. If you know anything about Vandy, to get Clark Lee, if you watch the progression of Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, their AD did a great job of doing what Mitch did with Mark Stoops, is increasing the resources to the program. Vandy has much better resources now. So unless we find a way to get more people to invest in the program, but besides the crafts, we're gonna be in trouble. You think color is the right answer now? If IU can do it, we should be able to do it. See, don't crypto, and people say this all the time. Y'all have to understand how IU went about this. It's more than just. Here is Kirk Cinetti has a pedigree that allow him to demand certain things. And his pedigree was he coached at Alabama, he went to JMU and elevated them. So for him to leave JMU, you have to give him some concessions. And IU is willing to do it. So now, our scripter, we just said it. We lack deep pockets. That's the problem. We can say all we want to say about revenue sharing and all that stuff. Yes, that evens the playing field a lot. But NIL is still a deal. Some of these kids are making a lot of money. Not as much as what people think they're making, but they are making a lot of money. So that means you have to have more than just outside of your common and out. That's why I don't talk about this but that's why the JMI contract is actually beneficial to us, is because JMI is offering us another deep pocket that we wouldn't get from another individual. How much you need for the football program to be good? Charles, I don't know the number is accurate, but I know LSU, the word is they are giving $30+ million to the football program. I've heard $40 million. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard some crazy numbers from people in the know. See, Gary says we should tap into the bourbon money. Here's the thing, Gary. Are the people with the bourbon money affiliated or care about Kentucky? Just people say about the horses. Well, we got all this money here with the horses. Do those people have an affiliation with the University of Kentucky? That's the problem. There's money everywhere. That's money everywhere. But are those people willing to give to the University of Kentucky? That's worse than spending 22 million. See, is that 22 million accurate, Charles? I'm not so sure. I here's the thing about fandom and being a fan is you want answers, but sometimes people can't give you the answers. So when you don't have the answers, then you start making up stuff or creating narratives, which I understand, but sometimes it's not as it seems. I'm not sure the basketball team was $22 million. Which let's just say this, and here's the part that bothers me with this. But then I gotta get to my other thing before we get out, because shit, we're at 36 minutes. I don't want to keep y'all too long. Here's the thing, y'all. Let's say the basketball team got 22 million. How can then fans still complain about JMI? Like, explain that to me. If they gave $22 million, you can't complain about JMI. And the players we got, look, man, kids also. I worked for 2 boosters for Kentucky. The money they gave was unreal. One was it. How much is unreal, Charles? Because what you think is unreal might not be enough. Look, y'all. LSU gave they got rid of they was able to get rid of Brian Kelly with 2 contributions of boosters. And they have more that when something else happened, then those 2 did this one, then the other 2 will do another one. Like the amount of big money at LSU is ridiculous. Crazy part about it, I went to high school with 2 of them. Like, it's crazy. Billionaires. Um, the amount of money, y'all, that some of these people are giving LSU is insane. Just want you to understand. It is beyond insane. Not $1 million. Not $2 million. As what Braun said, not 1, not 2, not 3. It's crazy, man. I seen a list one time. They was people in Oklahoma giving money to Kentucky. They have money. It's not getting spent. See, Charles, I hear you, Charles. How they not spending it right, Charles? Because some of y'all believe that Calzada was getting $1.25 million. I don't believe that. And let's say he was. Let's say he was. That's still bottom of the barrel for these quarterbacks that year. Arch Manning getting 6. Dan Mensa got to Duke was getting 4. Purveyor's getting 2.5 to 3. Mendoza's getting 3. Like, all right, see, those are the narratives. Crypto said we had an AD that was interested in networking. I hear you. I understand. I really do. I understand that there has to be someone to blame. I do. I get it. When your 2 programs are not getting it done, oh, I get it. I get it. Oh, I get it. I don't think it's true. Robert said AD has to go. That's I don't agree with that. I like Cub. I would like a genuine quarterback assured. See, here's the thing, Dylan, and this is just the nature of sports now. If you bring in another quarterback, Cutter is probably gone. We say we want people to compete. If he brings in a guy from Oregon, Cutter's gonna think I'm already behind the 8 ball because he already knows the offense. Yeah, that's a tough one. Ask Bruce Brooks about a guy named Greg Wells and the name. They help Stoops also. Yeah, I'm look, y'all. Here's the deal. Like, there's two sides as there's two sides to the story. No matter how flat your pancake is, Mitch did not resource football enough with Rich Brooks. I think that is a story that even Mitch would agree to. But I think there's more to it, y'all. If Cutter was from Arkansas instead of Kentucky, no one would care. I'm not gonna disagree with you there on Brooke. No one even knows half the people that gives money. That's how they keep it under their control. Charles, no one knows who gives money to a lot of these institutions. Um, your big donors are gonna be known. Some of the big donors are not known. Right? I want y'all to understand of of the amount of money these big schools are fucking garnishing. It's the numbers will blow your mind. Manicures as a skill position, one who is going to be our wide receiver one. The positive thing, y'all, right now is the Miller boys are not in the portal. Um, I don't know. Getting skill position players, y'all, is not easy. And Dylan saying he's not the young guys are ready. Those young guys are ready because they played this year. If they didn't play this year and were successful, I would be in agreement with you, Dylan. The biggest jump is between your first and second year. They are going to make a jump, and Will Stein with his offense is going to help with that jump. I have no problem with the wide receiver room. It'll be nice to get a stud. One, if we can get another one there, Robinson, it will definitely help. I'm not sure how easy that is to get. Um, we have had some guys almost here that were studs, and things happened out of our control, and we could not recruit them. What was the Syracuse guy that went to, I think, UCF? That wasn't us. That was him. Um, we'll see. We have to have so much luck for everything to fall in our place. It makes you think it would be easy to actually catch. Like it is, Steven. Like it's look. Here's the thing, y'all. When it worked out for us, we took advantage of it. And because we took advantage of it those 2 years, now people think that that's just something we should be doing all the time. I want y'all to understand. I was in Chicago. Northwestern had a couple years. Northwestern hasn't had anything since then. I'll do even things to get Garrett Johnson again. Yeah. We just look, man. Here's the funny thing about football is that there's a lot of teams run a lot of spread. That means a lot of receivers are going to other places. Like teams need a good passing team needs 7 receivers, 6 to 7. So let's say we're in a conference and Ole Miss, LSU, even Georgia to a point, Tennessee, Texas A&M running spread. Man, you're talking about right there. You're talking about 42 plus receivers. Back in the day when you ran the pro style offense, you had an X and a Y. You only needed 2, so you probably needed 4. Now you need 7. Who wins the Super Bowl? Sports Talk said, who wins the Super Bowl? I don't know. I had to see the playoff um, arrangements, but man, I feel sorry for Indianapolis because I think they had something going. I'm gonna say this: the Texans can be a problem. I'm not sure they're ready to win it, but the Texans with that defense, and if CJ Stroud continues to do what he's been doing the last couple of games, they are a problem. And I don't know, man. NFC, there's so many good teams. If I'm going like dark horse team, man, the Rams just they the Rams can be a problem. Um, I don't think they win. The Bears have a chance to be a problem. We'll see. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Dealing the trenches will be a problem. We haven't recruited well in the high school level, and some of them haven't panned out. um. I would say this: defense can be a problem in the trenches unless we keep Humphrey Grace, and that will help out a lot. We'll see. I'm more worried about the defensive trenches. Offensive trenches can be masked with a great quarterback. Period. Um, I think Coach Stu is staying. Y'all, crypto. Yes, I'm gonna tell you, there are great players in Florida and Texas. Do you know how many other great teams they have to pass up to get all the way to Kentucky? We it it's hard, man. I don't think people look. Here's the thing: if you talking about John Slarman, if Slarman doesn't pass away, here's the thing, y'all. I want you to understand. Just because I have as a coach, have a relationship connection with, let's just say, my hometown. If I am, for example, let's say me, let's say I get to the college ranks and I played in a time, I'm 50 now, where I played against a lot of parents who have kids that's going to college right now. If I'm at LSU, or Southern, or Lafayette, or La Tech, I can go into some of these family rooms or living rooms with these kids and their parents. And some of the coaches I might have played for, played against. That connection can help me keep their kids in state. Because they know me. I'm from the state. I played against you. Whatever. It happens. It helps. Now, when you go out of state and you're not at a powerhouse, I'm not so sure that connection is going to help bring the kids from your home state up to Kentucky. If I was at Kentucky, I'm not sure how many great players I can get to go to Kentucky. I know if I was at LSU, I can get almost any player I fucking probably wanted. Because LSU is LSU. Every kid, 95% of kids from this state wants to play for LSU. That's that. So just because Will Stein coached at UTSA and he's getting some coaches that are from there doesn't automatically mean pipeline. It just doesn't. It's a hard sell, y'all, when these players are getting recruited by other great teams. Now, that's the thing now, right? If they're being recruited, let's say they're getting recruited by all G5 schools in Texas. So let's say they are what's G5 schools? Like they're getting recruited by Rice University, they're getting recruited by Houston, they're getting recruited by who else? I can't think of. UTSA. You might be able to entice those kids to come to Kentucky because that's SEC. But if those kids are getting recruited by SMU, Baylor, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Texas, et cetera, now you're fighting a hard battle. Charles, you saying so they got players at Oregon and Kentucky. Charles, do you not understand the difference between Oregon and Kentucky? I mean, come on, Charles. If you can't see the difference between Oregon and Kentucky, that's a hard sell. You know, they got that guy named Phil Knight at Oregon. Have you not seen the money and the facilities at Oregon? It's out of this world. Charles, if you think it's about relationship and not money in today's climate, it was about relationships before NIL. It ain't about relationships now. It's not. It's all money now. Most kids are leaving and going to portal because of money. Oh, crypto, that's fair. But crypto, if I would say this, crypto, this is you're right. Here's the issue, crypto. If the kid is recruited by Rice and that's his best offer, he's not close to the other kids in the conference that have better offers. That's why for me, y'all, I'm not for Kentucky. I am not about having the top flight recruiter. I'm about having the top flight teacher. Now, if you can get that all in one coach, that's awesome. But for Kentucky, we got to be able to teach these kids. Got to be able to teach these kids. Because we're going to, probably the majority of the games we play, our talent level is not going to be as best as a guy on the other side of the ball. In my opinion, we can get 4 to 5 guys from Louisiana, Texas, air recycle, and lock down the border states. Dylan, hell yeah. Dylan, 4 to 5? So that means on a given team, you can have 16 to 20 kids from Texas and Louisiana. And don't just get any Texas and Louisiana kid, man. Now, Dylan, don't just say anyone. You get some top flight guys from Texas and Louisiana. Yes, that's 20 guys on a team at the max. That is a difference maker. I don't think that's possible. 4 to 5 a year is crazy. Alabama wasn't getting 4 to 5 a year. No, Vince couldn't save us, Charles. That's no. Ohio State got a beast of a defensive tackle from Rice. Yeah. Charles, that's one guy. Yes. Some of these players, here's the thing. Some of these players, and I can say this because my son goes to Rice. Rice is a great institution. It's an academic powerhouse. Some of these kids are smart. They want to get that degree. Then they go get their money. The JUCO route is a great route, but it's hit or miss. Stars don't matter as much. You have some great coaches. But crypto. Here's the thing, though, right? Is as Steven said, you got to catch lightning bottle. You got to hit on them, though, and that's the tough part. Is when you go that route, you have to hit on them. And as I've said on Twitter, TikTok people would know, I've said many times, is that we started swimming in deeper waters than we was accustomed to when we started getting these 4-star players. And after 21, 22 class, 23, like those guys have not panned out. We didn't hit. They didn't play as well for us as they should have. So, we did great in a portal. We had a couple bad cycles of recruitment, and we felt it. I mean, I'm gonna just say this, y'all. If you really want to go to the 4-8 season, like DJ Lagway is saying, DJ Lagway is a very good quarterback. He just been hurt every offseason. Hadn't had a chance to practice in the offseason. That's the same thing that happened to us. Deon Walker didn't practice. Remember, Max Harrison didn't play almost the entire season last year. Like when your best guys are not at their best, you're in trouble. I'm agreeing. I'm just saying in this year's class, we have 4 guys between Texas and Louisiana. We have 4 guys? Well, we got, Delcom? I can't think. That's the guy. You got Darby. Who else, Dylan? Thoughts on the offensive and defensive coordinator. T Farm is the same. I've said this yesterday. Man, it depends on who they bring in, man. Great coaches can look average with bad players. We can wrestle away a few guys like Darby or Trevor Wallace. Yeah. Dylan, you need more of those. That's all I'm saying. You probably have already addressed it, but what's your feeling on the hire and the style? Daddy Pig, here's the thing, Daddy Pig. That hire has brought excitement back to the program. There are fans being irrational fans again. That is a great thing. Their fans saw the schedule this year with 9 SEC games and are saying 7, 8 wins. That's great. So that alone is awesome. We will see. Let's see what players he brings in. That's the whole thing. If he brings in some players, he brings in here's the thing, if he trusts Cutter, I feel better about it. If he trusts Cutter, that means he feels good about Cutter. Darby, Delco, McMillan, and McCray. Okay, Dylan. Duncombe, I know McMillan is the wide receiver, right? Who is McCray? Do you think the staff fell in love with stars and rankings? Yes, Aaron, they did. But Aaron, here's the thing. Here's my belief, y'all. Y'all, I'm trying to do 2 things at one time. Here's my belief with what happened is that when you went back-to-back years, right? Of not back, whatever, 2018, 2021, of 10 games. To get over the hump, we probably felt like we had to swim in deeper waters. And those deeper waters gave us some heartburn. Okay. McMillan's a DB, McCray's receiver. Okay, I got him flipped. Okay. Yes. And the crazy part about it is, were those guys except Darby recruited by Stoops? So McCray is a 3-star. McMillan is a 3-star. Highest 3 stars. Duncombe is a 3-star. Okay. High 3 stars. We'll see. Just don't feel like Cutter's a good fit for this offense. Cutter's a crypto. I'm not sure that Cutter is not. Cutter doesn't want to go outside the pocket. I don't think Cutter is a statue. I don't think Cutter wants to do that. I mean, you saw the Texas game. That was a great run. He can run his freshman year win against Eastern Michigan. No, he can run, man. I think the kid is athletic. He's definitely not Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a statue. Tom Brady, no, he's an athlete. With his offense, I think we have everybody, not everybody, Charles. I'm not gonna. A lot of people think offense. Y'all, I want y'all to understand this. And there's no shade to Anthony White, Tim Couch, Craig Geese, and Hal Mummy, and Mike Leach. When they had that offense, the most games they won a season was 7. Offense makes fans happy. Offense doesn't necessarily win championships. That defense was horrible. And again, they're going to have a good defense this year, next year, whatever you want to call it, this year, next year. Just because Will Stein is able to put up 20-some points a game does not equate to automatic wins. It creates excitement, but that defense is going to have to be good in this conference. And you playing non-conference games. Okay, Charles, I'm glad you are confident that we can fix the defense. This defense wasn't bad this year. I want people to understand this, then I'm going to get off with an hour. I'm going to end it with this, y'all. The defensive scoring defense for us was affected by the offense. You know those touchdowns that South Carolina scored, and you go to the Texas game, they get the ball inside the 5-yard line. Like, all those touchdowns are on the offense, if you ask me. Like, our defense, I did a tally a while ago during the season, was giving up like less than 16 points a game if you take away the offensive scores and or the short yardage field position. Like, say you got to fix the defense is a wild statement for me, because I know you're gonna say the defense was bad, but the defense was not as bad as you think. Our linebackers and DBs are a concern, big time. Especially if we lose Ty, that's a big time concern. I'm telling y'all, man. Wait until let's see what this coaching staff brings in as far as talent. Losing Steven Souls hurts. I hope, which I don't feel good about it. I hope Steven Souls doesn't go to Florida. Y'all, we're hurting at the inside linebacker position, and we need 2 of them. We need 4 of them. To be honest with you. We'll see. Are we going to be able to keep Nichols and Addison? Or are they going to get in the portal? Those are concerns for me. But we'll see. All right, y'all. I'm at an hour. I'm going to keep this thing at an hour. It's 11 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try to keep this thing at an hour or less. I appreciate everybody chiming in, man. All right, Aaron. Appreciate it, Aaron. Fixed defense actually means beyond healthy, Aaron. Beyond healthy. It's we gotta have some dudes too. Steven, you're right. Bama game 2, Texas A&M game 3. It's gonna be interesting, man. 1 bye week, 9 conference games. Only 2 out of conference, non-conference games in Louisville. Gonna be tough, but we'll see. Again, I'm holding out judgment till I see the players he brings in. That's all for me, y'all. If all the Twitter and YouTube people know how I'm feeling, I am a players guy. Unique Jimmys and Joes. And I still didn't talk about the one thing I wanted to talk about today. I will talk about it tomorrow. And that is it for me, y'all. Again, as usual, go over to YouTube. I'm Driving with Styles on YouTube. I'm VStyle17 on Twitter and TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you're listening to me, why not? Why not follow? If you're listening and you like it, why not follow? If you're not following me, hit that follow button now. And if you follow me on TikTok, just go ahead and create a Twitter account and follow me on Twitter. It's the same what is it? Handle, VStyle17. Go ahead. Hit that follow button and go follow me on Twitter. I appreciate that, Crypto. Do what Crypto did. Crypto says he's following me on all social media. Go do that. If you don't have a YouTube account, go create one. Driving with Styles. When these football games get better, I do breakdowns on games. I do clips. So do that for your boy. Get my numbers up. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate all y'all for chiming in. Y'all have a